What is up, party people? This is Marshall Lee of DonkeyJawProjects.com, and today we are gonna just have a fun, happy hangout Sunday time while we're working on comics or whatever it is we're working on. And I don't know how long it'll go. Could go on for a half an hour. Could go on for 3 hours. You never know. Um, but people are gonna pop in and out, I guess, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll just randomly chat. But right now, so far, I've got Mr. Peter Palmiotti on here. How you doing, man?
Hello, hello. Yes, it is Sunday morning, so it's always times to make comics and art. I'm just sketching, randomly sketching. It's something I've been trying to do a lot more often and pretty successful so far. Um, yeah, just working towards getting better at the drawing. And
Absolutely.
you might see a random cat fly by.
Yeah, we were featuring a cat butt a minute ago, but I guess that's gone. Um, so everybody's got to definitely go and check out Mr. Peter Palmiotti's YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with all the crazy cool things he's getting up to. Um,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
link
We
is
we
in the description. So
we talked earlier, and there's a lot of happenings. We should mention Werewolves and Unicorns is still live, going for another 11 days, I believe. We got like 101 backers. It's doing pretty good.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. Trying to see if I guess I don't have that screen up, surprisingly, but let's see if I can now. First, actually, we'll definitely go check that out. I think the link is in the description. If not, it will be later. Um, but let's see. Oh, I got Hero up here, which I guess we can check in with that too, see how they're doing.
Ah, not
Hero,
bad.
Blood of Patriots. Refreshing. And one thing I do want to emphasize too is the Lone Wolf, which I'm going to be working on here. I already put some work on it today. Yeah, it looks like Hero is $4,384, 115% of the goal. They're doing really well, so that's awesome. And if you're into some crazy like uh, super soldier type of story, definitely go back that. These guys, Macho Dan and Muttman,
Yep.
are really cool dudes, and I definitely would recommend going and supporting that. Let's see how Lone Wolf is doing. Oh, I got people yelling outside my window.
No.
um, but yeah, I've been working on that today and still trying to get some more work done on it. Hopefully, I'll get some good progress on this page. Oh, I should have put Legends of Lone Wolf. Oops.
I bet if you just type in Legends of Lone Wolf in the browser, it would come up. Or because
Yeah,
I do that work for werewolves, and that's the first thing that pops up.
yeah, yeah. We've been doing good on the Werewolves and Unicorns campaign. I'm loving how it's progressing, and I'm surprised that this didn't come up yet. But we still want to get to that, especially the stretch goal for the poster. So we still got some time left.
Yep. Let's see. Karen Lewis Bonfiglio. I think I forget how many characters she put in it, but it's a lot. Well, it's 28 or 30, something like that, from all our characters of the anthology. So it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy for sure. What in the world? Now we got all kinds of things going on. You guys can watch me browse. I know it's super exciting. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I navigated. Why is my internet going fast all of a sudden? That's like weird. It's especially while I'm live streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So
Here we go.
71% of the fixed goal of $2,844 is raised so far, and we've only got 6 days left. And you can see. I mean, look at that awesome art. I mean, it's amazing, right?
Yeah. 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 Looks familiar.
And so I don't know. I think it's really a cool project personally. Obviously, I guess I'm a little biased, but it's putting my blood, sweat, and tears into it, and so are a lot of other creators. It's an anthology, a really cool story, a Indian guy who's kind of in the cowboy era, but he lives for like hundreds of years. So as you can see here, there's like more technology. Like this one's a little bit more into the future, which is kind of cool. So which is really cool actually. I thought about the idea of doing that too, but I didn't write my story. So but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a really cool project. So I would definitely appreciate. We only have 6 days left. It's actually getting to nail biting time. So
I don't know if you just heard, but one of my cats is scratching like below my desk is metal, and she's scratching on it. Yeah, that's painful to hear.
oh no, no, I didn't hear it, but
Good. It's like thankfully my headphones block out a lot of noise that's happening around me. Um, but it always sounds like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing.
yeah. So let's see if we can find that werewolves in. Wait. All right, here. This is how we're going to do this. Watch. We're going to go to 100 days of making comics.com/Marshall. That's the link to go to.
Are you
If you
cheating?
want,
Getting your own perks?
yes, if you want to support this, you have to go through that link. There's no other links that'll work. And check out the Kickstarter.
I think
And
Marshall is spelled PALIO.
I don't know. So we're at $3,745, and that's pretty freaking awesome. Like I am super excited for this thing to come to fruition. I got a Life in Space book right here. It's going to be nice to put that right next to another anthology.
Yeah.
So I appreciate we appreciate you guys back, and you can see this is the stretch goal I'm hoping to get to right here. This is the
Yeah.
Karen Lewis thing. I've already seen colors that she hasn't finished it, but it's beautiful, the colors that she's doing on it. I mean, I actually just read her story today.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, even with the black and white, it looked like she was fully coloring the pages. So I mean, you're going to get some really cool colors here. This is going to be great to throw up on the wall. So we got to get up to that 4,600 mark.
And yeah, I mean, it's like Karen was fussing over page one of her story for so long, and every iteration was awesome and amazing artwork wise, and she finally decided, okay, I'm kind of doing it like this, and she went with it, and her story is really, really beautiful. And she told me she's going to be YouTubing more, so look forward to that. She'll be doing fan art and some streams and whatnot.
Absolutely. Oh, this video is private? That's crazy.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it's not dumb. People can still watch it after the fact, but I wonder if I don't think I can change it.
You want to start over?
I suppose we could.
Because that happened to, like, when Jeff interviewed me, it's like the settings were just decided to do their own thing.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can edit this. I don't think I can, but oh goodness, fun.
Do you want to edit it on screen? If
I'm gonna
decide to
edit
go
it
with
right on screen. Let's see. I put it to public. See what happens. Publish.
I mean, it should be as easy as that.
That'd be crazy.
Go to your channel and check.
Yep. View on watch page. Are we live? Are we live? This is the fun of trying to do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, I'm like, where's the chat? Why
Pretty
ain't
much
nobody
now.
chatting?
It looks like it's working now.
Sweet. Now we have one person watching, and awesome. That's so weird. I
Yeah.
wonder if it'll come through. That's all right. We just did all the part that is good for the viewer who's watching after the fact to click on the links and
Yep.
stuff like that. So
So
yeah,
now,
I was going to the chat so I could throw this link in there. And yeah. All right. So what else is new? You were telling me about the this poster you're talking about with Wonder Woman.
yeah. So it's a year away. We're finally going to be getting a second Wonder Woman movie. Um, and the poster is amazing. It's like I wouldn't say psychedelic, but it's very colorful. And it's got her in sort of battle armor.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like a third act costume, battle sequence or whatever, as they usually do. Um, but it's called Wonder Woman 1984. So there was a lot going down in 1984, news wise and event wise. So I think they're going to deal with some of that. It also, from what I've been hearing, they're kind of making it that movie the flashpoint of the movies. So they're going to be keeping Wonder Woman, the actress and the character as we know her. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
be keeping Aquaman,
Mm-hmm.
but I think everybody else might be up in the air going forward as far as who's playing what character and who they are in the universe. So it's almost like they're reconstructing it all.
Interesting.
Um, yeah. So it's like obviously Wonder Woman has been doing great. Aquaman has been doing great. They have decided they're going to go with a different actor for Batman, possibly a younger version, a much younger version, considering they were sort of going with a kind of Frank Miller, older Batman, previously. Now that they're doing year one, I believe. Um, and yeah, it's like flashes up in the air whether they're going with the same actor. The actor I loved, the costume I hated. Um, it looked like a cross between Flash and Iron Man, or like a bad version of Iron Man.
I thought they were going with the guy from Twilight,
Yeah, I think
Robert
so.
Pattinson. Is that his name?
Yeah, I'm not up on the latest, but I think that might be the choice, and I'm fine with that. It's like just write a good script, get a good director. It could almost be anybody. I'm not fussy. Just it's really important to get a good script more than anything else. Have a good vision to the movie.
I would agree. I mean, that's like the downfall of Captain Marvel. Even though it did so well, it just I don't know why. Well, I guess I know why, but it's frustrating because like it's just not great. I want it to be great, but it's not great, and I really hope that they actually get some good writing, in for the next installment, because she's not
Yeah,
really a character yet. I don't know.
yeah. I enjoyed it. But yeah, it's kind of a tough movie to actually showcase her as a character because there's so much in there that they needed to establish.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that like with the Captain Marvel 2 movie, they'll really go character deep Who is she
Yeah.
now? Why is she so busy saving different parts of the universe, or whatever the story is.
Yeah.
Um,
We just watched Thor Ragnarok a second time.
oh my
Well, it was
god.
the first time for Lindsay, but for me, it was the second time, and it's just as fun the second time around.
I must have watched it at least 5 times. I love that movie, and it is something you can go back and watch. It's just creatively, it's the closest movie to like Jack Kirby's Vision.
Mm,
And I just love the designs of everything and the characters in it, and yeah, the story. It was just fun, fun, fun. Um, and it's almost like, even though I like that the first two movies were more authentic to like Thor and his lore and all that, um, I think this was definitely more publicly, um, not accepting. I don't know the word, whatever. Just like more people, open to more people enjoying it. It wasn't heavy lore. Um, Definitely Thor in it is a lot more comedic and funny, and even Hulk. Um, and it's just so much in it to like. You know.
hmm Yeah, I think it was really good. I I don't really remember if I still can't, like, my wife and I. It's kind of cool. Like, she's been actually really getting into the MCU movies, especially we just rewatched Iron Man and all that stuff and caught up with the ones we missed, and um, so we've been, like, every weekend we throw on another MCU movie or two, and so she's been really getting into it, and I can't, like, I feel like I keep telling her I can't wait till, like, Endgame comes out to rent or whatever, because I want you to see it so bad. Like, I mean, we can
Yeah.
still go to the theaters, but it's hard to get her to the theater because she's in pain a lot. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I can't wait for her to see that, because it's like there's so many things where I'm just like, I want to say something but I can't, you know.
Oh, by the way, oops, spoilers.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Um, it's a great time, and we're both currently immersed in projects we're working on, and our project, and I'm finding less and less brain cells available for other people's creations. It's like I'm still watching stuff, but I've really trimmed down what I've been watching. Um, and like currently, I'm watching Mars. That's on Netflix.
hmm
If you haven't seen Mars, I definitely highly recommend it. Half of it is real, true life, like actually what's happening now as far as space travel
hmm
and programs that's going on, and the other half is totally fictional about flights to Mars and how they're dealing with their experience there. And it's freaking amazing. It's so well done, so well produced, so visually stunning. Um, Definitely, like, if you like space travel at all, and dream of it yourself, then check it out.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, stuff like that, like, I want to see that just because it's good research for me, because that's where a lot of my stories end up going. Like, even in the story that you and I are creating, I didn't even tell you about this part, but, like, I have this whole idea of, like, basically, the I have this idea of, like, the moon being like a prison planet for, like, bad, messed up, like, superhero types or whatever. Um,
Cool.
and then Mars is like, it's like if you go to the moon, well, you might still be able to kind of recuperate, and but they're going to put you to work, helping to keep Mars, or the moon maintained. and you might be able to retire from your prison, and still you'll have to live on the moon, but you're not probably going to come back to Earth. But if you go to Mars, that's just going to be hard labor. You're pretty much screwed for life, but you're going to be helping the rest of the world like terraform Mars.
Cool. Yeah, that's that's great. Yeah, I mean, we had this discussion earlier, and Marshall's taking lead. Marshall's taking lead story-wise, and I'm totally fine with it because it's just shaping up to be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I mean, I'm getting a chance to like practice stuff I'm learning on writing and stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that. Looks like we got a few more people in here. What's Matthew Enstrom? How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. What are you working on comics today?
Actually, I'm working on something for the 100s. When we did the launch party, I don't know how well that's showing up, but I'd sketched that out and didn't like how it turned out. But there's just a little promo I'm trying to make up for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I can see that's like a Bigfoot with a sign. I don't know what the sign says, but it definitely looks like a fun gesture.
Yeah, it says werewolves and unicorns and other mythical creatures. It's
nice.
I may Photoshop the actual book in there, but
that'd be cool. I love it. So yeah, we got another 100s guy here. So it'd be kind of cool. Well, first let's introduce the other guy who's sitting here making comics, Mr. Comic book black belt himself, Russ Leach. How you doing, man?
Fine. How are you?
Doing great. What are you working on?
It's a digital tell your own story comic that if I say any more than that, I may be murdered.
It's all right.
It's
so
super secret.
Russ's life. We won't talk anymore about that project.
It's super secret, but obviously I can show some of the work that I'm doing because nobody's going to know what I'm doing or what it's about. It's quite anonymous. I just can't talk about it much. So
looks like you got a little critter in the background outside as well.
My cat. Yeah, let's have a look at that. I can't see what's in the frame. Oh yeah, there he is.
So Mr. Fart Bucket Tunes himself, Matthew Enstrom. I'm curious. Would you like? I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience with making the comic for the 100 Days of Making Comics anthology.
To me, it was. I was wanting to do it because I enjoyed the first book that they did, but I mean, it seemed like it fell perfectly for me since it was cryptid related, and it's quite a bit of what I do. So,
yeah, no doubt. Can you tell us a little bit about the story you made?
Yeah, it's kind of a like a Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck kind of little adventure. It's with Bigfoot and the Michigan Dogman, and Bigfoot's just trying to help the Dogman to get back to Michigan. And reading through it, I tried to do the Looney Tunes type spin off on it, and I think I did pretty good at making a kind of a fun tale for it. So.
Yeah, I'm sure you did, man. Excuse me. Matthew was nice enough when he did the 1 hour comic day challenge that I created to send me some stuff, and I really enjoy his humor. Like he's really good at bringing forth a good little like punchline and stuff. And so I have not read your one for the anthology yet, but I'm sure I will be very soon because I'm doing it. Every day I'm reviewing more comics from that. And I'm sure it's going to be a nice, fun ride because you always deliver when it comes to the funniness.
Yeah, I've enjoyed your videos, giving just a little bit of insight on each story. I'm waiting to actually have the book in my hand before I read the stories. But
Yeah, I'm hopefully I'm trying my best to just kind of show a little something that makes it attractive to people, but not give away, the full story. Because I feel the same way. Like I like to, like that's what I did with the first book. I waited till I got the book, till I read it, and I wanted to have it in my hands. And still, even though like I'm not doing that for this book, I still like as I'm reading them, I really look forward to have the book in my hand because um, I only read them like on my small phone screen. So to see the art like full size and in print is just going to be a blast, I think. So, and I think it's always fun to reread like good stories as well. So I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to even just rereading it.
definitely. Like, yeah, I'm like Matthew. It's like I like reading the printed version, and like I'll read a story at a time, and and just like really soak it in. Um, I've been watching everybody create their stories, so it's like I almost have a more of a intimate relationship with the artist and the stories. Um, so I'm really really looking forward to getting a printed copy of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait.
yeah,
So what were we talking about before, Peter?
Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a movie that will be out a year from now, and it just looks beautiful. What photos we've seen of it so far, and she's in her regular Wonder Woman costume that we've seen like from the first movie. It's a decade later than the other movie, so we're moving forward in time, and she'll also be wearing her armor in the movie. So it just looks really good, and it's Wonder Woman 1984, so it's taking place in 1984, and a lot of events happening around that year. And
Yeah, I can't wait for anything more with Wonder Woman because like I actually watched that movie like right after, not too long after I watched Captain Marvel for the first time. And I always seem to contrast everything from Captain Marvel, but I mean, it's like I wanted Captain Marvel to be cool, and it didn't. Well, I mean, it was cool enough. I enjoyed it enough, but you know, then I went and saw, I saw Wonder Woman, and I'm like, now that is that's a good story. Like I felt for the characters. There was emotion there. There was, well developed characters. I don't know, like that was a good story, and I want more.
no, most definitely, like the whole lead up to the battlefield scene was phenomenal, and so emotional, and you felt for the character, you felt for her friends, and uh, yeah, it was so well done. It's like I would say it's a top 10 scene as far as comic book movies go, and definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. Now we just gotta get a werewolves and unicorns movie out. Wonder what
Starring the
that'd be
Griffin,
like.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Oh,
else?
that damn Griffin! You always got to bring that thing up.
It's Peter's Griffin. That's why.
That's true. Oh goodness. Yeah. So, what else is coming up? Like, I'm still trying to like, I don't know. Like, I'm watching all these MCU movies, and I'm like, I just want more and more and more. Like, I wonder if people are getting tired of it, but I'm not really getting tired of it yet.
No, it's like They're spaced out enough. It's like if you follow the hype, you sort of like get tired of it a little bit. But if you just watch the movies as they come out, I think the next one is Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that comes out real soon, actually, right?
I believe so. So I am excited to go see that. That's might open a whole new world of possibilities within the MCU, because it might be a multiverse story.
Do we know like what the direction is for the next phase? Because I know they have like all these different phases and stuff. And
Well,
have they talked about it?
they since like Marvel did their whole schedule, and they got the whole Disney Plus, so there'll be characters we've seen in the Avengers that will be streaming shows, and that's really interesting. And they say that those shows are going to tie into the movies, so you have to watch them to get the whole full scope. But there's at least 13 movies following Avengers Endgame. We'll get another Doctor Strange. We'll get another Black Panther. We'll get Spider-Man, possibly another Ant-Man and Wasp. Just going on things that are following up. We'll also be getting new stuff like the Eternals. Jack Kirby created the Eternals.
I hope they do that.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I forget more than I remember, but there's enough for another, 3 to 5 years worth of movies coming out.
Yeah. Actually, it'd be kind of cool to pose the question out there. Maybe we'll start with you, Russ, and see what the chat says as well. What comic property? It doesn't have to be Marvel, doesn't have to be DC. It could be anything. It could be independent. It could be whatever. What comic property that they probably might seem kind of unlikely that they would do as a movie would you love to see as a movie?
When you say they, do you mean Disney and what they've got, or just absolutely anything?
Absolutely anything.
I always quite liked the idea of a Strontium Dog movie. That's a character from 2000 AD.
Mm-hmm.
That would be quite good, I think.
I don't think I'm here with that one. What is it called again?
Strontium Dog. It's a post-apocalyptic thing where strontium 90 after a nuclear war has caused mutations in people, and the mutants have different abilities, a bit like X-Men, I suppose, but not as super. And that because there's only a few of them compared to the rest of the population, they end up getting rubbish jobs, and it ends up that a lot of them end up being bounty hunters, sort of space bounty hunters, and they go out and have adventures. And Strontium Dog is I think his name's Johnny, and he's got like these silver eyes so he can see through stuff and what have you, and he goes around with this big sort of hammer wielding Viking mate of his, and it's just the adventures they have, and I've always thought that would make a really good film. So
that's interesting because that would be kind of cool if they did maybe even a TV series where it was and they just went into a bunch of those different stories. That would be awesome. Or even heavy metal or something, one of those kind of that'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, there's loads of stuff in 2000 AD, absolutely tons of it. So that would be good. I think the problem is there's maybe too much superhero stuff at the moment. I think it's like with Disney. It's the way of the world. but obviously they want to get as much out so they can make as much money as possible. And purely from an artistic perspective or creative perspective, or even from a film going perspective as a fan, sometimes it's a bit overkill. But as Pete was saying, hello Peter, by the way.
Hello.
Hello Matthew, nice to meet you.
Hello.
It's as long as you stay away from the hype, I suppose you don't really notice it. I'm not one of those people that follows the Hollywood gossip. So
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in what's coming out or when's coming out until it actually comes out. But yeah, short answer, Strontium Dog. I think that would be a really good thing.
I like that choice because I like new stories, new ideas, things I haven't seen before, and I'd love to see more about what this story is about for sure. How about you, Matthew? What property would you love to see come to the big screen?
Well, being a fan of the '80s shows or movies, I would have to say Young and the Dead. So maybe we can get Scott Strickland to make a movie about his.
Oh man, I was just.
comic.
You guys saw my vlog yesterday. I just read that because it came in the mail, and I was totally thinking the same thing when I was reading it. I was like, all the little '80s like extra things he puts in there, like that would just be nothing but a ton of fun.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm actually going back and starting with book 1 to read through before I actually read book 4, just to refamiliarize myself with the story.
Yeah. That's the tough thing with like indies. I notice is like, especially people like kind of on more our level, is it takes a long time for us to do our comics because we got to do almost everything by ourselves usually, and so you only get a book every year, a couple years, or however long it takes, and it's tough to remember exactly what happened. And I've done that too. I've gone back and reread before. This time I didn't, but I was tempted to.
Yeah, and then plus a lot of people have day jobs. They do this on the side. Takes time for indies to get their books out, but I think that's slowly improving.
Yeah.
But I'm reminded that I'm a big fan of Preacher. If anybody's seen that, it's a great show. It's like horrible stuff happens in it, but it's totally enjoyable and adult. And now they got The Boys, another Garth Ennis property that will be coming out, and I'm really excited to go watch that. Once again, it's like superheroes, but like doing bad things.
Yeah, I read I think the first full like story of that, and I started getting the rest of them, and then I just kind of was like, I don't need to read any more of this. Honestly, it's good. It's a good story, but I don't really know that I want to see superheroes acting like that too much. Like it was interesting for the shock value at the moment, but
Yeah, it's like way back in the day when I was more innocent. I read the first trade of Preacher, and it's like I enjoyed it, but I was horrified at the same time. It's like, I just put it down. I was like, I don't think I'm reading anymore. But now it's like I'm older, and it's like I watched the show, and it's like, it's got such a good story to it. If you see beyond the surface of it, that I'm really curious where it's going to wind up.
Well, a lot of people love Preacher. I haven't actually read that one. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with it, but I've heard so much good stuff about it, and maybe one of these days I'll have to jump over to that. But I'm only really familiar with The Boys, which like I said, it was good. It's not like it wasn't good. It's just there's only so much of that I want. To take in.
Yeah, I'm usually of the thing like, I want to watch positive things. I want to watch things that are happy, or at least people striving for good goals, or doing good things in the world. And doesn't seem to be as much out there nowadays. But yeah, so if you know of anything, put a comment in the
Yeah.
chat.
Speaking about the chat, it's got some people in there hanging out. We got James GSR. He brought the donuts, so thank you for that. Everybody go have some
Yum.
donuts on him. Michael Lahitan, I guess. I definitely have seen him around. I just don't know how to say his last name. But how you doing, man? Mr. Lee, did you watch the short All Hail the King after Iron Man 3? I did not. Do you guys know about that?
No,
I
I'll have to
definitely
look
did.
it up.
For sure. Teresa says, I missed the stream. I was doing the 1 hour comic challenge. Oh, junk. Sweet. We got another 1 hour comic challenge person. I almost got a heart attack doing it. I know how you feel. So does Mr. Matthew Emstrom, I think.
Yeah. As I saw the time going down, that is starting to stress me out. I was trying to go a little bit faster, and like maybe having the time sitting right there by me wasn't a good thing.
Well, the stream's still going on, Teresa. So if you feel like popping in, feel free. That would be great. I know you like to take the weekends off, though, so I'm surprised you're even doing comics. Super Game Boy 243, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Hi, remember me? I'm the one that said you helped me make comics. Now I have horror comics, superhero comics, and more. Wow. Thank you. I'm
Cool.
glad that if anything I could help. And it's kind of cool. Like lately, I've actually been gaining like a lot of subscribers. I've been getting like, I don't know, somewhere around like 5 a day or something, which is crazy for me. Like it was
Wow.
like before it was like 5 every 3 months or something. But I have this one video I did called "How to Start Your Comic," and that one is just blowing up right now. And I've been getting a lot of subscribers through that, and it's pretty cool to see all these new people kind of jump in. Oh, we got some barking going.
Yeah, that's coming from me. I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Might have to quiet mute Matthew.
Yeah, I threw the mute.
Dogopolis.
Yeah.
It sounds like a major war going on.
Matthew, I muted you. Once that's done, feel free to unmute yourself. Yeah, let's see. Van Illustrations, Mr. Clay. What's up? What'd you say, Peter?
Oh, I was just gonna say that's pretty amazing that like everybody's checking out your video and subscribing, and that you're that actively getting new people coming to your channel and checking out your work.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate it, and it's like, it's like you put in this hard work on these videos, and that was one of those ones that I really put a lot of editing into, and I was trying to hit for that before, and I really want to get back to some videos like that, but those are harder to make. So I've been kind of keeping it alive with the live streams and the vlogs, and hopefully, people who come in from those videos enjoy the vlogs, and it seems like they are so far. So that's really cool. And let's see, Van Illustrations is talking to Teresa. I think. Oh, he's asking if she filmed it. I hope so. Super Game Boy Spider-Man Far From Home is coming out. Yep, absolutely. Comes out July 12th. Yep, can't wait for that. Let's see. Ronnie's in here. How you doing, man?
Ronnie.
Hello, Ronnie.
Is he actually? Yeah, I don't think he's actually in the thing, but he's in the chat. Sorry if that was confusing.
No, just a general hello.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a friend of the show. He's been on, and he's been on a lot of streams lately, which is really cool. He does interactive comics. You should definitely check out his YouTube channel and see what he's doing, because it's a different way of making comics, and it's really neat.
Yeah, I look forward to. I never thought of picking up one of those sort of interactive. I don't know if there's a lot of comics done that way, but there's stories and whatnot. But I definitely want to get his and check him out and play with him.
Absolutely. I'm assuming that's like more geared for like if you have like an iPad or something, which a lot more people do. I don't, but I would definitely be interested in checking that out. Everybody's into Spider-Man. Teresa says she didn't have time to color it fully. If you're gonna color it like the 1 hour comic challenge, then you're just going above and beyond, and you win all the prizes, in my opinion.
That's super impressive.
That's just crazy.
Wow.
What
do you got to be hopped up on some major gallons of coffee if you're doing a 1 hour challenge coloring your comic book.
Yeah. Now we got to get Ronnie to do an interactive comic in 1 hour.
Yeah, really.
See how well that works. James GSR agrees that Scott's story would be awesome to see in film. Yeah, absolutely. And guys and gals in the chat, please let us know what you think. What comic story that it doesn't have to be Marvel or anything. It could be anything. Would you like to see on the big screen? Let's see. Teresa's telling people to try the 1 hour comic challenge, and I would strongly agree. It's fun. I mean, if you've never made a comic before, you can do that in 1 hour and then say, "Hey, I've made a comic."
That's right.
Daniel Liebert's in here. How you doing, man?
Hey, Daniel.
He says evil sells better, sadly. That's a good point, and it's so true.
Yeah.
So put some sex and some evil in your show, and you'll be all set.
I'm actually fine with sex or sex appeal. But yeah, it's like there was a trend for indie movies where it's like a lot of topless people walking around and whatnot, but good stories and good visuals. But yeah, it's like, give me a story I want to follow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care what's in it, as long as it's not like super horrible, or, as long as it's a good story. I mean, yeah, do it, man. I mean, certain things I just don't feel like seeing. Like, if you've ever watched Kevin Smith's Tusk, like that one, I watched it. I enjoyed it the best I could. It's not that it was bad, but it was tough to watch because it was kind of gross. But some stuff, there's just certain things that I just personally am sensitive to, but that doesn't mean it's not good. As long as it has a good story, is I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael Lahitin says it's about Ben Kingsley's character from Iron Man 3, basically to soothe people's anger about what they did with the Mandarin. Oh, that'd be interesting, because that was the main thing while I was watching Iron Man 3. Like, I loved Iron Man 3. I think it's almost as good as Iron Man 1. It's really good. But while I was watching, I was like, I don't know anything about Mandarin because I didn't read that stuff. But I bet people are going to be pissed with are pissed with how they treated him, because they kind of made him a goofball, and he wasn't like even. It was like a lie and stuff. And
I heard a rumor that it's a double bluff.
I was wondering if it could be.
And they're going to bring him back.
Yeah. We'll see, I guess. But I thought they could have just named him anything and it would have worked. It didn't have to be the Mandarin.
No, agreed.
I mean, the thing is, coming from a perspective of somebody who isn't familiar with that character, like, I thought he was fine, because he did work well within the story. He was a part of the story. It made sense. But if I was expecting to see like a really cool Mandarin, I could see how you'd be disappointed.
From a very
Yeah.
personal point of view, I think the problem is that Marvel have done a brilliant job of bringing the characters to the cinema. They've done a great job of representing them in a way that is very familiar to comic strip fans, to comic book fans, but it's not really them. It's they've, like, for instance, there's so many Easter eggs and nods for fandom. So they've called this guy, in this particular story, the Mandarin. And in some ways, it's almost like they tried to cram in the Mandarin into a screenplay. And I think you've got to give them the room to create films that will be good for everybody, not just fans. And it's a bit harsh to say that to get upset about things like the Mandarin and how it was handled. I don't get so upset, because at the end of the day, they're just a film. It's fun. It's good fun. They're representing the characters, but they're not what I read as a kid. They're not the Bronze Age characters. They're not even the characters up to the early 2000s. That is not what I read in the comics. It's a good representation of it, but it's not what I read. So I tend not to get bent out of shape about what they do on the film and what they do and what they used to do in a comic. It is what it is. And you just got to sit down with the popcorn and enjoy it. I watched one of the worst written films I've ever seen in my entire life last night, and that was Transformers last night. That was diabolical. Absolutely awful. It was so badly written. Whoever wrote it obviously had no respect for the Transformers franchise, let alone science fiction movies in general. But you know what? I couldn't stop myself from watching it because there were big robots having fights in it. So I got my popcorn and sat down, and me and my son watched it and said, wow, what an awful film that was. But, I enjoyed the robots. So, but maybe I'm just shallow. I don't know.
I love that. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's kind of what being a fan of comics is, So, like, come on, don't get so serious about it.
Yeah.
It's entertainment, pure and simple.
So I did want to say that I did notice that let's see, where Super Game Boy, he said he made his comic was a 1-hour horror comic. It's called The Beginning of Killer Dummy. So yeah, I'd definitely like to see that. See if that drawing or that comic, if you wanted to show it at all. Sounds interesting for sure. Let's see. Daniel says, anyone saw a wild orchid? I don't know what that is. Do you guys know what that is?
Sounds familiar. Who's in it? I hope.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry. Let's see. Let's know a little bit more about it. And let's see. Oh, it looks like I'm just trying to catch up.
No, it's not working.
They're just talking to each other. Daniel says he doesn't like superhero movies. Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
And he says, "Crazy Dogs Strike Back." Oh, yeah, because the sound. Gotcha. All right, so we are officially. Oh, wait a minute! Erotic movie from the late '80s, really good. Oh, that's what that was.
I probably saw it. I forget now.
I don't. It's funny. I was thinking about that because Peter was saying something about nudity. I forget something about the movies with nudity, and I was thinking like 80s movies had a lot of nudity. Even like the regular comedies, you'd always see like shirtless women basically at some point in the movie.
Yeah.
But,
There was a movie like the cook, the chef.
Oh yeah,
Her boyfriend. Yeah. Oh my God, I love that movie. It was like gorgeous to look at, very artsy, and good story and shocking at some point, and yeah, it had some nudity in there, and it was just done well. You know, it's like if it's done well, people check it out, hear about it, go see it, and yeah, it's like, you know, I only say that like in regards that like everything's become so PC and political and whatnot, and just make good entertainment, you know, and put it out there.
Amen. That's exactly right. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. You know, just otherwise it becomes restrictive. If you have to worry about who you're going to offend every time you do something, it becomes restrictive, and people can't express themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, some things you should just keep to yourself, you know. But you can't go around thought policing. You know, if somebody's going to think rotten things or do or create rotten things, then you know, let the market sort it out. If they're really awful, people will just ignore it and it will go away. Turn it off.
sometimes,
Yeah.
unless I don't know.
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe it doesn't always work, but for the few amount of times it doesn't work, doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
There's too much rubbish out there, and it hasn't gone away yet. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
So funny. Let's see. So we got Daniel saying hashtag free nipples. So
Yay!
Free them. Okay.
Free, not free as in free for free at the point of use.
Yes, everybody gets. Everybody has some, but Michael says a lot of people get bent out of shape over what they call canon in current comics and films like Star Wars, Terminator, Halloween, etc. But at the end of the day, it's just someone's fanfic. Yeah. Even the ones created by Marvel are created by people who didn't actually create them. So
exactly,
they're pretty much fan fiction.
So that's another property, Terminator, that's coming back. Direct, you know, like I don't think he's directing it, but James Cameron is sort of controlling the story more, and it will be multiple movies, and it will be a solid one theme kind of story going forward, because they past the second movie, there was 3 or 4 movies, and each one had their own sort of take on what was going on. So I totally lost track of what the hell was going on. But yeah, they're reinventing and not rebooting, but they're actually taking the story forward from the second movie. Yeah. So they're going back to the second movie and continuing the story from there.
Which, of course, you can do according to the rules that he set out in the second movie. So, you know, that no fate. You make your own fate, and then on top of that, there's time travel and alternate worlds, as it were. I think if he does it right, it could be good. And as long as people don't get too bent out of shape, you know, the fact that he's changing it. I think if James Cameron wants to change the story, then that's up to James Cameron, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's his property. If he changes it and everybody goes, "Oh, but that's not what happened," it's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. It is his. He can do what he likes with it. Deal with it.
Watch the films you like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I love the first one and especially the second one. The third one I didn't love so much. And then I haven't watched anything else since then, but I know that I've heard some of the other ones are pretty good. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see them when they come out. And I love James Cameron. I want to see more Alita, really. That's the main thing I want to see from him.
Do you know if that's in production? Like,
I don't think as far as I know, I don't think they've announced it at all yet, or if it's going to happen or not. But I would really like it if he focused on that. And well, this won't happen, but if he focused on that and totally ditched that other series that he works on, because I mean that it was good enough as it is. What is it called? The
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was cool. It was like a spectacle. It was kind of cool and stuff, but it wasn't that great. We just rewatched it the other day, and I'm just like, I think almost every time I watch it, I start to fall asleep. Like I don't know.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
I'm
It
curious.
wasn't that great.
I'm curious. Like I liked it. I really enjoyed it. But I don't see where he can go. And he's talking like what 3 or 4 or 5 other movies following the people. It's like out of what? What's the story? I don't get it.
I mean, you can always do more for whatever thing it is. Like you got an imagination, But at the same time, I agree. Like I don't know. I just wasn't into the story that much. It just was more like looked really cool, and it was a cool idea. Like the whole idea of, that was probably one of the first times I ever at least saw that idea of an avatar, of kind of controlling an avatar like that. And, it's a cool concept, but I don't feel like the story was that strong. Like I don't know. It seemed a little bit more like a propaganda than anything, which is what it is, but not my cup of tea.
I think the problem with a lot of films these days is that instantly they talk about doing 3 or 4 films.
Yeah.
They're made with that in mind because obviously it is so very money orientated. Yeah. I mean, Star Wars was great, and he had an idea. Lucas had an idea for other films, but as far as he was concerned while producing it, Star Wars was it.
Yeah.
It was only once it was financially successful that they said, "Oh, okay, let's make some more." And I think that has a real impact on the way that they make films from a creative perspective.
Back in the day, it used to be bad horror movies that had sequels.
Yeah.
That's funny. I know it's weird because for so long, I mean, that was always the thing. Like, sequels are not good. The original movies always sequels are not really that good. But I mean, they have made some good ones, though.
Yeah.
Now, so I mean, Terminator 2, in my opinion, is almost, you can almost argue that that's better than the first one.
Oh, without doubt, yeah. And the second Star Wars is the best Star Wars film ever.
Yeah.
But I may just be biased because I'm an old guy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely plenty debate there, but I don't really. To me, they're all the 3 the same thing. Like I just love them all. I never even thought to debate one being better than the other until recently, when I've heard that that's what people have done throughout the years. But to me, I mean,
loves to do.
I mean, I even like the prequels, so like that's where this is coming from, and I even like Jar Jar Binks, which is like totally horrible.
Oh,
probably hate that, but
I'm not keen on Jar Jar Binks, but I do like the prequels. I thought they were great. So there you go.
I mean, visually they were phenomenal. I mean, so like they really pushed the bar, and I feel like everybody's just messing with the story and the characters or whatever, but nobody mentions like they were freaking gorgeous.
I think
Nothing like that
same thing
appeared.
I remember when I first saw those movies, like in the theaters and stuff. And the main thing that I wanted out of those movies, the biggest thing, and it's kind of a not that important thing, it's kind of a surface thing, but the main thing is I wanted to come out of those movies, like I wanted those movies to feel like a Star Wars movie, and they did.
Yeah.
They had that feel to me. So that's why that was a big part of why I liked it. I like to see more of the universe and the expanded amount of the universe. But it is true that the stories weren't as good. The characters weren't as interesting. But I still enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
Now the Matrix sequels, those are some of the best movies ever made.
Yeah, I actually don't understand why everyone got so bent out of shape with those. I enjoyed all the movies. That may make me unpopular.
I enjoyed them, but I do definitely like the first one.
Well, the dogs don't like it.
Join the Matrix. Join the Matrix. I recently rewatched them, and when I saw them in the theaters initially, I was a little taken aback by the second and third parts. I thought visually they're just as the first one. They even had some wonderful moments that were even better, but I thought the story kind of lacked or fell apart. And just recently watched them back to back, and it's like, oh, okay, I see much clearer now what they were going for and why this sort of makes sense and how it all pulls together. And I enjoy it much, much more now. It's like, oh, okay. There is talk that they might be doing more movies, just continuing the series. We'll see.
I hope they don't.
I
I hope they don't. I like it the way it was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I liked it the way it was. It was it rounded off well, and if you look deeper into it, you can see you don't need another story, because the whole point of it is that it's repetition. It's some kind of circle, and that's the way it works. And also that they got quite esoteric. I mean, there were they touched on the whole thing about the AIs, were they actually alive? Could feel love and all the rest of it, which starts going deeper into the things like they were touching on reincarnation, I think, and the potential of, well, are you going to reincarnate as an AI, or are you going to reincarnate as a human? And I think it went very, very deep, and some people might have missed that, I think, but I thoroughly enjoyed the whole story. They did a cracking job.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of cool stuff to enjoy in that, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I used to always say, and it's kind of messed up, but I really like Keanu Reeves, but I used to always say that the success of the Matrix movies is that they didn't give him a lot of lines. So
it works in John Wick.
But he's a great guy, like just a person in general.
Yeah, definitely.
And I do enjoy his acting and stuff. I actually really Speed was one of my favorite movies growing up. A lot of that has to do with the fact that Sandra Bullock was hot and I had a huge crush on her.
Yeah.
Also, it was a fun movie, and then obviously Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is great. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. It's like I wasn't a big Bill and Ted fan, it's like I saw him and it's like, funny.
Yeah. It's not.
But,
It's just fun.
yeah, but somehow I'm like really uh, looking forward to the third installment and really, and just like I know it's going to be great. I don't know why, but I just got a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is he going to be in it? I'm assuming he is.
Yeah,
both
he's
of them
in it.
are. Yeah.
The other guy,
I didn't even know they were doing that. That's cool.
they got Death back, and yeah, it's a thing. I hope it gets released.
It'd be like super cool if like they had like Kevin Smith director write it. Like that'd be kind of fun. I feel like he'd like do it well.
Well, it's already in production, if not finished. I don't even know
Oh wow. Cool.
what the latest is, but I think Kevin should be directing movies and not doing podcasts. That's me.
I'm cool with whatever he does. Like I love like just listening to him talk. Like he's a great fun guy to listen to.
Yeah. I really, obviously I was there in the trenches, but when he was writing Daredevil, I thought that was pretty fantastic stuff, and I would have loved to see him do a whole long run of that character.
Yeah, how much comics has he done? Because it seems like you would think him being such a big fan, he'd have more comic work out.
I think I don't know if it was Batman. He did some stuff for DC using some characters, and Batman might have been in this story. I'm not even sure, but you can probably easily look it up, and I don't think it's a lot.
Yeah. I don't think I've read anything that he's written for comics, but I'm sure it's cool.
Well, definitely read his Daredevil run. That's Joe Quesada and that Jimmy. What's his last name? Palmiotti? I don't know him.
But kind of just know name get somewhere
but
too.
just picking up some of the background inks in the church and stuff. That's all me.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of hands behind the scenes. But I thought it was a phenomenal run, even if I wasn't a part of it. And that's what they tried to do with the Affleck Daredevil movie. Try to get a lot from that story. Successful or not, that's your opinion. But
yeah,
definitely, it's like I've always loved Daredevil, and definitely the Frank Miller stuff rises above a lot of it.
right. Yeah, I still have to read the Frank Miller stuff. It's obviously legendary. And I actually started reading it on Comixology the other day and got distracted. And I don't know. I'll get back to it eventually. But let's see what else we got going on in the chatty poo. Yeah, that one comment by Michael got us talking. Are you going to see the reboot of Child's Play, aka Chucky? My buddy Clay Storm talks about that all the time on his channel, and no, I don't. I'm not really into Chucky personally, or like it's weird. Like when Chucky first came out, I wasn't into horror movies or anything at all because honestly, they were just too like I was just too scared of them. But since I don't know, a few years into my marriage years ago, my wife and I, with Netflix and stuff, we started watching horror movies and stuff and got really into it and watched a ton of them. But I still think Chucky is just not really up my alley. I'm not into the doll thing. There was one doll horror movie that was on Netflix a couple of years ago, and we watched it, but they're just I don't know. There's something I don't love about the doll thing. What about you guys? You into Chucky?
He never played with dolls. It's like Yeah, I watched. I forget what it was called, but I guess the last one with Jennifer Tilly, only because Jennifer Tilly was in it.
Mm.
You know,
Fair enough.
it's like, she's hot. I had a crush on her. Bound. If you haven't seen Bound, that's awesome movie. That's by the Matrix directors, actually.
What about you guys? Not into Chucky that much?
Nah.
Nah. I've never been into that kind of horror film, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like science fiction, and I suppose the all the superhero films kind of count as science fiction, fantasy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, for instance, a science fiction horror film, like I love Alien.
Yep.
You know, I like all that stuff, but nah, I've never seen The Exorcist. I've never seen any Chucky films. You know, it doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah. I would assume is Matthew still in here?
I think he dropped out.
Oh, he dropped out. Okay, I was gonna have him chime in because I would assume he'd be into like some of that kind of stuff. But
Definitely.
so yeah, sorry about that. And I guess we're not huge Chucky fans here. Daniel says, I'm drawing a noir story to relax from my main series, and IA Naked Lady for 4 pages, not giving crap if it offends anyone. Well, that's the way you should always write, man.
Yeah.
Don't give a crap. You just got to write what you want to write, you know?
Yep.
Ronnie says, my lunch break is over. Hope everyone has a great day. You too, man. Thanks
You too, Ronnie.
Michael says, they've made the last 3 movies, Dark Fate included, saying that it was a start of a new trilogy. I'm assuming he's talking about Chucky, probably.
Terminator.
Terminator, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, it's the start of a new trilogy. Okay, I see. Interesting. Daniel said, still needing the Remington revolvers reference? Question mark. Yeah, I guess he sees that I'm drawing guns. I got that one little reference that you can see like on my screen, and I just kind of use that loosely. I think I did pretty well in this little panel here. It's I'm not going for like super accuracy. I just want it to look basically like a revolver, a general revolver. Yeah, I
It's
don't really get too deep into detail. I did have fun drawing on this page, kind of getting a little more into detail with them. But yeah, I think it's coming out all right. What do you guys think?
I'm liking it. I liked your gun, and that's like Iron Man level, like metal shine kind of thing that I always dig. But yeah, like the character is slicing the other character. I think that's accurate to real life.
What the head one right here?
The right panel, yeah, it's like where he's just a black silhouette. It's like, it's just supposed to be comic fun. I mean, and it's up to you as the illustrator to either go, maybe it's realistic or go more cartoony with it, and to tell a fun story.
I mean, these shots here in this little sequence, I mean, really all the action almost in this page, it's all very typical shots that you've seen in other comic books, especially like the one splitting him down the middle. They do that in manga all the time. So, I'm just kind of going with the basics here, but I would like to get a little more inventive and stuff, but, I'm still learning, and this seemed to work for me here, so I'm going with it.
Yeah. No, I like it. I dig it.
There's nothing original in comics anymore, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I always try to use a little bit of reference, but I don't go too crazy, or else I'll go crazy.
Yeah.
Michael says Aliens is arguably better than the first one. I'm
Yeah.
really want to see those over. The only reason I haven't is because my wife is really scared of the aliens. But I did kind of convince her, so we're gonna watch it again soon, I hope. But I love those movies, and I don't know which ones are better. Like, I just remember they all kind of muddle together as one for me because I've only seen them a long time ago.
I enjoy all of them. The first one is a great sci-fi horror. The second one is more like a military movie. And I enjoy them both immensely. And I can watch them over and over 100 times.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Good
spot
stuff.
on.
Let's see what else we got here with the chat. Now we're talking about all Dirty Harry sequels are great. Yeah, Dirty Harry. I mean, you can't go wrong with Dirty Harry.
Never.
It's funny. My brother used to be part of a. What was it? Well, he worked in an office, and I believe like a couple of floors up, the people working in whatever company that they were in charge of doing Clint Eastwood's movie posters. So Jimmy got to work on a lot of the Dirty Harry movie posters, which were like most of them were black and white, all of them maybe. So like doing photo retouching and touch ups and whatnot on those, which is pretty cool because we were both fans of anything Clint Eastwood growing up.
Yeah. Clint. He does cool stuff. He still does cool stuff. So. Let's see what else we got here. James says, "You mean love of Jar Jar isn't blasphemy?" It is. I'm okay to blaspheme in that way. I guess a lot of people didn't like the Ewoks either, which surprised me. I didn't realize people didn't like it, but I loved Ewoks. I thought they were awesome.
That was the first example in Star Wars, I think, where the story was changed for money.
Really?
It was supposed to be Wookiee. It was supposed to be a Wookiee planet.
Oh,
right. Yeah.
And they changed it for the demographic to the little guys.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I mostly felt that it should have been a Luke Skywalker movie, and anything else that was in it took away from that.
Yeah, I mean, Luke is the key to the franchise, really, and I do wish that they put more focus. Like, as much as I do enjoy the prequels, after kind of examining it further, I feel like I do feel like it was kind of probably a misstep, to go either with that story, or you just needed to write that story better. But either way, I think that some of the novels that came after, like the original series, like they should have really mined from those, because those were really good. I mean, I don't know that much about them, but what was that one?
Splinter of the Mind's Eye or something.
That's the only one I read.
Yeah.
The one that I got into a little bit was, and I can't remember what it is now, but it was really good. It was like when I guess Leia was having like twin babies or something, and it was pretty popular recently. It's an old one. I don't know, but anyways, there's some good stuff in the novels that they could have just like continued with Luke and Leia and Han, and that's like their secret sauce. They should have just kept going.
Yeah,
it's
what everybody wanted.
Yeah.
But let's not get into that argument now.
there's whole channels that can discuss this much further.
Yes.
Michael says,
and get very upset about it.
Yeah. The whole industry,
which I don't understand.
whole industries have been destroyed by the commentary on Star Wars movies. Um, Michael says, with the Matrix sequels, they front-loaded, reloaded with action set pieces and didn't leave much for revelations. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. You probably have a point, but it's hard for me to like think of, you know, I guess I don't really quite like think of it that way, so I don't really know. Maybe. Let's see, Daniel. He's leaving. Okay. Thanks for stopping in, Daniel. James here. Yeah, he's just saying he's going to. What is your favorite Aliens movie? Super Game Boy says.
Yeah, Aliens. The second one. if I have to choose, it's that one. Because Michael
If I
Biehn
have
is
to
brilliant.
choose, I picked the first one because
Right.
that's what started off. That's what really showcases the alien and the ship and just the design of everything that every movie that follows really took from that one.
Fair enough.
Peter just likes those movies because of the cat.
That's right. The cat should have had its own movie.
Was the cat in all of them, or like I don't even remember? Like, was it?
Oh no, it was just in the first one because it was one of the guys that killed off.
Oh, he was in the second one, wasn't he?
Was
Jonesy.
he? Oh wait,
Yeah,
wait,
when
wait. That's right.
she woke
That's
up.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in her
That's
flat, and then she kind of said to the cat, "You lucky bastard," or something. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry for the profanity. She went off to deal with the more aliens, and the cat stayed and ate Kit Kat or whatever it is.
What about you guys like Aliens versus Predator or Alien Covenant? I don't know that I even remember those that much personally.
The first Alien, the AVP film,
Yeah.
I actually thought was quite good. I know, but with the whole thing that I'm obviously very shallow. I enjoyed it. There was a big alien in it, and there was lots of fighting, and it was good fun, and I had a good time watching it. I know a lot of people got very upset about it, but I have to say, after watching the second one, which was I can't remember, Requiem, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, that was crap. even for me, that was pretty poor.
So even you have a threshold of.
Even I have a threshold. Yes. Although you would argue that after me admitting that I watched the last night, the Transformers last night all the way through,
Yeah.
that really was bad.
I lost track with I remember seeing the first Transformers, and I thought it was pretty cool. Not the best movie in the world, but it was cool. And then I don't know if it was the second or third one. I feel like maybe it was even just the second, and it was like for so long it was literally just pieces of metal moving like on the screen,
Yeah.
and I was just like, what am I even watching? Like. I don't even know.
Yeah, it was all about the imagery. There's no doubt about that.
And that just lost it for me. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it shocked me that you have these amazing new special effects that you can use and make some kick-ass Transformers like on the screen now, and all you do is make it a billion pieces that nobody can follow. Is that your solution?
Have you guys seen the Bumblebee movie? I heard that one was good.
Yeah, I heard that was good. I haven't seen it.
I saw it and I enjoyed it, and yeah, the visuals in that are slightly better, I would say, and it's a fun, more fun movie, and it's not it's not like the Transformers movies. It's a little more focused and intimate. It's almost like whatchamacallit, E.T. story wise.
All right.
Really interesting.
Worth watch then.
Yeah.
It's definitely one I would like to watch, but I haven't seen it yet. Seems more up my alley. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't say what I'd like to see on the big screen. I'm trying to think though. Like, I mean, I'd love to see, some of the stuff like the early image stuff on screen if it was done well. They
Yeah.
definitely have to like write an actual script that's interesting, as opposed to the actual comic books. But like Youngblood, like the idea of Youngblood was kind of cool. That idea did not come through at all on the pages. So that might be cool. Savage Dragon done well would be kind of awesome, I think.
Yeah, that would be fun. Here's something, I don't know if you guys know of the property, but there's an artist, writer, creator, Paul Chadwick, Concrete.
Yeah,
I've heard of that. Yeah.
It's
I know about that one.
it's a Dark Horse creation comic. Was published by Dark Horse, but it's like Thing, but it's very a lot more intimate and poetic and gorgeous artwork, and just it's incredibly story wise, but I can't even describe it. It's just a something you should pick up like the first trade or something and see if it's your bag. I just thought it was wonderful, and it would be really interesting to see as a movie. Although I don't know what they would focus on for 2 hours, because it's a bigger story. But
Yeah, I think I have all the books, like the individual books. I've never actually read them, but the art is really cool, and it looks like a cool story. What could you sum up a little bit of like what the story's about a little bit? I'm curious.
It's been years, so it's like I might be hacking it. But it's like, I don't know. It's like Concrete. I don't even remember how he came to be, or if he was just that to begin with, or I knew he had a close friend, and it was sort of like their relationship. It was just Concrete existing in the world as Concrete, and that's why it reminds me of The Thing. It's like, his tortured soul and all that jazz.
Yeah,
And yeah, like how the celebrity of him and how he deals with that, and while he still feels, oh, I'm not worthy or whatever. Yeah, I'm not really describing it good, but it is definitely like you could probably look it up, wiki it, and get a summary of the story that will pinpoint exactly what it is, because it is something that's really worthwhile checking out if you're any sort of comic book creator.
so you're saying Google it?
Yes. Yes, you lazy bastards, Google it.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean though. Like, I don't need to actually put you on the spot because it is hard to remember stuff when you read them and stuff. But it does seem interesting, and I love that idea of like seeing things from an interesting perspective, like seeing things that are like larger than life. Like that's why Marvels was so cool, and I love it when stories do that. They kind of, you kind of take for granted how crazy this stuff is, and then like somebody goes and makes a story that shows you like a little bit what it would be like in real life, and it's like, oh, that's even cooler now. Like,
Yeah, it's like Batman is an incredible character, and I don't know if they ever did it or if they pulled it off when they did it, but imagine telling the story of Batman from Alfred's perspective, done right.
that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to
And
make Alfred's story like, I think, the main point and the main interest, maybe. So much that it would be appealing just on its own, and then
yeah,
bits of Batman in there.
because Alfred's story is really interesting, and depending on, I don't know, it's been told so many times, and he's different things in different universes. But I think just the basic setup that was from the beginning of him, he's butler to Batman and Bruce Wayne and the whole Wayne family, and it's just a really interesting perspective. And why is he so freaking loyal? And why is he stick around? And why is he put up with everything insanity that's going on?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how long does it take him to clean the Batcave?
Yeah. I mean, I think even Alfred probably has servants to help him. I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't know anything about his story, to be honest. But except for the obvious. But so yeah, it'd be interesting. I could see that being a cool take. I mean, people. It seems like people like that Gotham series, and that's partially about Batman, but not really. I guess I haven't watched it, but it seems like people dig it.
I've never watched it. I had trouble with the idea of watching a Batman television series without Batman in it.
Yeah. I think that's why I didn't watch it too.
Yeah,
but
I'm probably being very dismissive and very unfair of it. But when you've got limited time, you have to kind of choose what you're going to watch if you're going to watch anything. And I'd rather watch one of the Christian Bale movies again than take time watching that, because it doesn't have Batman in it. So
I don't think it would. What's a good Christian Bible movie?
No, Christian Bale. Sorry.
Oh, Christian.
that got completely lost.
It's two different things. I really enjoyed that Christian Bible movie with American Psycho.
That's good.
That's funny. Let's see. So it looks like everybody left us.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, man.
That's what you get for going on for too long.
Yeah.
I think we lost them at Ewoks or something.
Yeah. I'll go back to my channel. It'll have 5 subscribers left because I've told everybody I thought that the rest of the Matrix films were okay.
Yes.
I'm unsubscribing from that guy. Oh my god.
He has bad taste.
Once the hard work lost.
Yeah, the stuff I admit, I'm surprised people watch my stuff sometimes.
I'm trying to do more. I want to do more like you, actually, Marsh, because what attracted me to your channel in the first place is the connection. You're very honest and open with your video logs, and it makes you an extremely compelling and interesting character outside of the stuff that you do. And I'd really love to be able to do that. I don't think I can, but it certainly makes your channel very interesting. I definitely, every time I see one come up, I go take a look at it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I definitely, go for that. I think, you just got to do what makes sense for your personality, and I think authenticity is important. And I think you do actually do that, in your own way. I mean, I've heard you talk about that you like the prequels and stuff, and a lot of other stuff. You're very honest about your opinion and stuff, and your videos. So I think you're doing the same thing. It just takes time to build up an audience. For sure.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And I don't see any reason why your stuff won't keep getting more and more traction.
Just tricking those algorithms.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways you can kind of play with that and actually boost up your progress with all the algorithms, but that's kind of like a job unto itself.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's YouTube isn't my primary focus. It's a great thing to have, and I think it's a very worthwhile use of my time. But like as you say, it's not the primary goal. The primary goal is to draw, get paid to draw, and hopefully draw comics. You know, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like Marshall said, yes, you are really honest, and I think that comes across in your videos, and definitely based on your workload and what you've achieved, people should be interested, and it's just a matter of getting them aware of that, because I think everybody will latch onto your channel if they knew the amount of work you've done, the wide spectrum of work you've done, the quality of work you've done, and what you've done in and around that and outside of that. And,
thank you. Let's see. But what I do enjoy is things like this, actually. Like I mentioned to both of you, it's and it's a lonely place, isn't it? When you're not working in a studio with other people. So it's really very cool to be able to do this kind of thing and sit and chat while you work.
Yeah, there's so many benefits to it. I mean, the community, like you said, being able to get work done while you're chatting and have, not feel like you're by yourself and stuff. And yeah, it's all good stuff. And I'm glad we've been able to keep building this community, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's fun. Van Illustration says there's still at least one lurker in there. He's still hanging out. So
thanks, man.
Yeah, nice one.
But that being said, I think it is a good natural place to kind of put this one to bed.
Yeah, it's coming up to my dinner time.
Yeah. So once again, everybody here, like definitely go ahead and check out Russ's channel, Comic Book BlackBelt, Peter Palmiotti, he's on there too. The links are down below. I'm going to be putting Matthew Enstrom's link down below as well. He's a first timer for this show, but he's a long time friend.
Definitely go check him out.
And yeah, you know where to find me, Marshall. Where do you find me? DonkeyDropComics.com / I don't know, comics. That's a good place to start. And yeah, I don't know. There's also all these Kickstarters going on as well, and Indiegogos. Definitely check out Lone Wolf if you want to do me a favor. Check out Lone Wolf's Indiegogo. We only got like 6 days left, and we really got a lot more work to get to that goal. So any help there would be great. But other than that, we really just appreciate you guys. Everybody in the chat's been awesome today. It's been fun.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you on the next live stream.
Yeah, bye all. Been a pleasure.
Take care, everybody.